Coming up next, we have WTR News. 接下来 WTR 新闻 9 p.m. Good evening, I'm Nambi. These are your top stories for tonight. Civil unrest in Tajikistan has brought Russian troops to the area to try and quell the violence occurring in Tajikistan. Problematic invasion by criminals has disrupted peace and normality in the county. What will we do next time to stop this from happening? Radical faction Khmer Rouge has vowed to participate in the next year's May election under certain conditions. Good evening, Anomi County. This is WTR 95.0 FM or Channel 95 WTR. Today we'll not have any crime watch at all for now, so we're going straight into news summary. Russian troops have been sent to Tajikistan for peace operations. This comes as unrest in Tajikistan worsens and military action is required. This also comes as the tensions in Tajikistan is rising and may lead to a higher level of violence or even a civil war. Hundreds of people were reported killed or wounded in Tajikistan in the weekend unrest that nudged the republic closer to civil war and prompted Russia to reinforce its troops. The Russian Defense Ministry, in an official statement, said the decision to send reinforcements was taken because of the sharp deterioration in the situation in the republic and was based on a request from the authorities in Tajikistan to the Russian government. It cited the taking of Russian servicemen as hostages, the seizure of Russian military hardware and munitions, and the use of this equipment in the conflict as reasons for its decision. Nambi, WTER. Khmer Rouge, the radical group that was in power in Cambodia in the past, around the 1970s era, has said that it will take part in the Cambodian elections next year in May if only certain demands are met. However, senior official Khor Bun Heng told a news conference that Cambodians living in zones which the Khmer Rouge controlled would not as yet be allowed to register for the elections. Registration by United Nations teams is due to start on Monday. Head of State Prince Norodom Sihanouk said on Saturday that the Khmer Rouge has already told him that it would reject the results of the elections to be held under the supervision of the United Nations Transitional Authority in Cambodia. Mr. Kaur gave no direct answer to questions as to whether Khmer Rouge President Khieu Samphan had actually said this to Prince Sihanouk. We are ready to participate in political life if a neutral environment can be guaranteed. It is an important election. It will decide the destiny of the Cambodian people, he said. Now from the Associated Press, they interview a person related to the elections.
There's a big downside risk, if you like, that if the election goes badly, and in particular if there's violence after the elections as the various parties scramble to form a government, then there's a real risk that the international community could just walk out of Cambodia, close the door and throw away the key.
Next up on WTR News, People's Liberation Army in China has officially opened its North China International Shooting Range to more customers. Violence and war in Arway as multiple criminals, part of the Pine Tree Party, storm Arway. Many people have been killed. More information on that later on.
Dear foreign car owners, when it comes to fixing brakes, foreign cars aren't foreign to Midas. That's why we offer same-day brake service and guaranteed brake shoes and pads for as long as you own your car.
そして今あなたがお持ちの国産車外車をマイダスへお持ちいただくと
Get 25% off guaranteed brake shoes and pads. That's 25% off brake shoes and pads for any car at the Midas International Brake Sale.
Vilket språk man än talar, detta är ett erbjudande värt att bromsa för.
Wherever you are this summer could be a very cool place with Miller's 10 grand a day giveaway. We've got a lot to unload. That's $10,000 a day every day. Look for numbers inside specially marked cases of Miller beer. Match and win daily in USA Today and Sports Illustrated. A lot of cash, a lot of winners. Can your beer do this?
Welcome back. China's firing range, which we have explained recently, is a more than just unusual way to kill an afternoon for civilians. It is one of the more colorful means devised by the People's Liberation Army to transform its traditional assets into money-making enterprises, in keeping with China's national policy of turning to the markets rather than the central government for future growth. That policy has been particularly important to China's military, which is often referred to as a state within a state by experts. It has its own hospitals, factories, banks, and markets. Since military strength was a national priority in the 10th years of the Cold War, the army has some of the best installations in the country, giving it an edge in developing money-making enterprises today. For instance, China has become a major arms exporter. It has sent its high-powered missiles and other heavy weapons to the Middle East, angering some Western governments. According to Mr. David Shambaugh, a professor at the University of London and a specialist on the Chinese military, the army has also retooled some of its factories to produce consumer products, from electric fans to construction equipment and even trucks. The Army community server was recently raided, most specifically the Roblox server. Now we know that it was raided by the Pine Tree Party, however we do not know any more information other than that. All we know is that we were there and it was chaotic. Many people died in the scuffle between the criminals and the role players, who were too used to the normal style of combat. in the roleplay community, which is only one sidearm and one primary weapon. The raid was eventually stopped by ORQQ or another staff member when he disabled guns in the server, and then he decided to, talk to them. Let's say they were not pleasant at all, and yeah, we have some suggestions for the community, I guess, for the community owner or the government. Firstly, we need you to at least host some type of training to really fight in these type of situations if there are no admins online. Secondly, these people need to be stopped. So, I recommend that we at least have a protocol for staff to know what to do during these type of situations. Because from what I've seen during the situation, our staff did not know what they were doing. Also, the fact that quote-unquote trolling, staffs claim that they were quote-unquote trolling is unreasonable. We have to focus on the fact that we have to stop these clanners from really raiding our, server again. Because if we're just gonna try and troll them, what's the point of staff? Anyways, that's it for that part. We would like to remind every one of you guys to stay aware for this press helmet. This press helmet shows a neutrality from us, and that we do not want to try to get into any trouble unless necessarily needed with self-defense. If self-defense come into play, we will be utilizing 2 guns, a shotgun and a pistol. These weapons will be used to protect news personnel from any dangerous threats if needed. Well, that's it for WTR News. You can always catch us next time on the next week. If not, you can also go through the archive that is listed online. We hope you have a great day and good night. 希望你们有一个好天，晚安。
Drive across the Golden Gate Bridge?
No.
Did you see Alcatraz?
Is that there?
Well, what did you do?
I found this sourdough roll.
Introducing Wendy's Sourdough Bacon Cheeseburger. It's a San Francisco-style roll stuffed with a quarter-pound of fresh beef, Monterey Jack, bacon, and Dijon sauce.
Reminds me of when I was in San Francisco. I met this sailor.
Hey, look at the time. Gotta go.
Yes, well, we only went to the library.
You can find it in San Francisco and at any Wendy's.
One thing you have to remember when you're dealing with people is that they're all different. So I better have different kinds of chicken, and I better have different kinds of fixings to go with different kinds of chicken. If you give someone a good meal at a fair price, they'll come back to you.
Introducing the Chicken Choice Deal. For $9.99, you can enjoy 12 pieces of original recipe or extra tasty crispy or 1.5 Colonel's Rotisserie Gold chickens. That's lots of chicken for just $9.99. The Chicken Choice Deal. One choice everyone can agree on.
This one I had to work my arms and myself off for this one. It's kinda tiring. Anyways, as you know, we have changed our release date of our reports from, Saturday. Actually, no, from Saturday to Sunday, yeah. Because we're having an exam on for a couple days, actually 1.5 weeks. So that means we will not have regular news reports anymore. Well, you'll have to rely on the newspaper reports from other news companies, Anyways, we would really like to appreciate you for joining us today for WTR News. 希望你们好好的休息 As I said before, 我说过晚安 Good night.